On October 26, 2019, TAP Air Portugal was operating their last commercial flight with the Airbus A340-300. Now that this aircraft type is in the past for the airline, we take a look at the model. With that, welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at the Airbus A340-300 from TAP Air Portugal. At the front of the box we have a very lovely image of the aircraft itself and the TAP Air Portugal branding. Then on the back side of the box we have the same image once again. We also have the original dimensions of the aircraft and some additional information. And here she is, the Airbus A340-300 of TAP Air Portugal. Now, the airline has had multiple iterations of the airline name. Currently, the airline calls itself TAP Air Portugal, but it has also gone under TAP Portugal and Air Portugal and so on and so on. As this aircraft is branded as TAP Portugal, we will stick with that throughout the video. Now, if we start off with the tail section of the aircraft and take a look at the vertical stabilizer, we can see the TAP Portugal branding. On the fuselage, we then have the Portuguese flag, the aircraft type specification, the full registration code of the aircraft, and the airline web address. Across the fuselage at the front of the aircraft, we then again find the TAP Portugal branding and the Star Alliance logo, of which the airline is a member. Just underneath the cockpit windows we have the name of the aircraft, and that's pretty much all the details we have around the cockpit windows. They are printed on, but that's about it. The engine nacelles have been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage, and the detailing here is a little bit disappointing. Now, this is of course not a brand new release from Herpa Wings, and the level of detailing this aircraft model has very well reflects the amount of detailing you could expect at the time of release. But anyway, I was never a big fan of the look of the nacelles, especially from the backside. If we look at the front, we can however see the engine fan blades very nicely. Then we should also take a look at the wings. Here we can see on the top side, we don't really have any markings, but we do have the flaps, slats and spoilers carved out very nicely, and we do have some different shadings of grey, giving some amount of detailing. The underside of the wings also look pretty decent, where we then have the full registration code of the aircraft once again. And of course the A340 did also have winglets, which we also see applied here on this aircraft model. And if we look underneath the wings, we can see here the main landing gear, which I think actually looks rather decent. And if we look at the front, we can see the front landing gear, which I think is also quite nicely made. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here on the back side of the aircraft and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A340-300 of TAP Portugal. Now, as I mentioned, the airline has just recently defunct their last A340 from their fleet. But is this aircraft model still worth getting? Of course, it is not a completely new release from Herpa Wings, so there are a few details here and there that aren't up to the standard that we can expect from Herpa Wings today. But I think the main point where it really distinguishes itself in a negative way is the engine or the engine nacelles, especially when you look at them from the backside. Now, I was never happy with the detailing Herpa applied there, even when this aircraft model was new, but the rest of the model I would say is really great and can really measure up to the detailing and standards we have today from Herpa Wings. So if you are a fan of the Airbus A340 or TAP Portugal, or even both, I would say this is definitely an aircraft worth having in one's collection, and even if it's just for nostalgia's sake. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to smash the like button, and if you're new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.